Mastery from First Alert 6 election headquarters with the latest update. The lead is growing. We remain on upset alert for Mayor Gene Stother. John Ewing with 33,800 votes to Mayor Stother's 28,975. Here's the difference. The 8 o'clock numbers, the lead was 3,572. Now, if you look here, the lead now has grown to 4,859 for John Ewing. He had been pushing his 43 years of experience that he had been in law enforcement, a deputy chief for the Omaha Police Department. He's been a Douglas County treasurer for the last 18 years. It looks as though that he's going to unseat Mayor Gene Stother, and he will be the first Democrat in office in the Omaha mayor seats since 2013. There are still votes to be counted, but this lead keeps growing, and the biggest number of ballots that were coming in were very early one that we showed where he had the initial lead. A lot still could change, but let's go out to Ewing headquarters and Bella Caracta. She talked to John Ewing moments ago. The mood has to be just electric there, Bella.
It sure is. I mean, the music matches exactly how they're feeling, right? So they just read off the latest results. John Ewing's two daughters on stage. You can see him there. You know what? He's surrounded by his family right at the beginning, right at the top of the stage. But people are on their feet here. They're happy with the results as the lead grows now at almost 4,900 votes between the incumbent and John Ewing. When I spoke with him, I did mention how, sometimes those early voting ballots, those absentee ballots, skew a little bit to the Democratic side. He is here in this race the Democrat, but he says that, you know what, he is feeling hopeful for the rest of the night as the results continue to roll in. But at the end of the day, he believes that this position is nonpartisan. The mayor of Omaha, he says, is the mayor of the people. And let's take a listen about how he believes the rest of the night will unfold.
Well, I still believe we're going to win. I believe that we are going to have tremendous support from people throughout the city. I've never been a Democratic public servant. I've been a public servant, and I believe the people of Omaha know that. I don't believe there's a way that you can be a Democrat or a Republican and lead in office. I believe you have to be a public servant to lead in office and to lead a community, and that's what I've been for 43 years.
Right, and here I found him in this pretty crowded room. He's taking a picture right over there with his family. You can see a woman clapping back there. All smiles here at the John Ewing campaign. I did also speak with former Mayor Jim Suttle, the last Democratic Omaha mayor, and he echoed the same thing, being a mayor of the people, not being partisan here in this campaign. And I'll bring you some of that advice that he has if the results keep rolling in as they look like they are, where John Ewing would be the first elected African-American mayor as well as the next mayor of Omaha. Reporting live in the John Ewing Campaign Center, Bella Caracta. Brian, back to you.
Bella, thanks. Jacqueline Fernandez has been at the Mayor Stother campaign. Noticeably different type of a mood. They've been hearing from Brinker Harding, who won his race pretty handily. He was unopposed, so he was declared a winner early and often. Okay, let's look at some of these other city council races. You have District 1, Pete Festerson, the Democrat, even though these are nonpartisan, folks know where they stand. The parties get behind him. He's returning for, I believe, a 5th trip to city council. Here's the one where there were 9 candidates for District 2. Juanita Johnson was one of them. She's the incumbent. She didn't make it out of the April primary. So this is between Lavanya Goodwin and Ben Gray. Ben Gray was beat by Juanita Johnson 4 years ago. He's back in it. He's served as a city councilman for 10 years, but it looks like developer and community organizer Lavanya Goodwin has a lead that has grown through this second batch. District 3, Danny Begley comfortably over Michael Pilipaitis. District 4, Ron Hugg, a comfortable lead over Andrew Adams. Remember, Ron Hugg took over the position for Vinnie Palermo when he was under indictment for public corruption. Ron Hugg was appointed by the city council. Some thought that that might hurt him when it came on election day, but so far it hasn't. As I showed you, District 5, Don Rowe, also unopposed. Brinker Harding unopposed, Amy Melton the incumbent. This one has gotten a little tighter. If I look at my numbers, this is Northwest Omaha. Amy Melton is the incumbent. But what's interesting here is that some people have thought that because there wasn't a Democrat in this West Omaha race and then this Southwest Omaha race, that it might have suppressed some of the vote that would have come out otherwise for Mayor Gene Stother. And there was one city charter amendment on here. It's overwhelmingly going for it. What this was, 81-18, what this was is kind of a move by the people. When Vinnie Palermo finally vacated his seat because he was in jail waiting trial on federal corruption charges, the rules said that the city council appointed his replacement. What this does is if you vacate your seat in those first two of a 4-year term, then the people get to vote who goes in that seat. If it's in the last 2 years of a 4-year term, then in that case, the city council appoints the position. But the big story tonight is an incumbent in trouble. Mayor Stother with 29,000, John Ewing with almost 34,000. The next election ballot numbers come out in about an hour. So 9:45 is when we'll see the next round. Those will be the afternoon ones. You heard John Ewing, who had mentioned to our Bella that said, you know, sometimes Democrats vote more in those early ballots. So we'll see if some of that can be tightened. But also keep in mind here, he had a big lead in the early ballots. There are still probably 6,000 maybe plus that were turned in late yesterday and today, and those wouldn't be counted till Friday. So that lead, this seems like a fairly comfortable lead if those kind of proportions stay the way they are. A couple other interesting points. We've said that if he wins, John Ewing wins, he would be the first elected African-American mayor of Omaha. A little footnote here, in 1988, Fred Connolly, who's African-American, he was the first African-American city councilman in Omaha. He was actually interim mayor when the current mayor had died in office, but he was never elected to that position, so he would be the first. She was looking for an unprecedented 4th term, but of course Mayor Stother was the first woman ever elected. I don't know if maybe we go in 12-year cycles here. Mayor Stother has been mayor for the last 12 years. The 12 years previous to that were Jim Suttle, Mike Fahey, both Democrats. John Ewing, a Democrat. We'll be back here on FirstAlert6.com with the latest numbers in about 45 minutes, and then at First Alert 6 at 10 o'clock. We'll see you then. I'm Brian Mastry.